Hi, Panthers. All right, so I hope you enjoyed watching the read aloud of Monsters Love Colors. If you look closely at those monster illustrations, you're going to see the monsters have wonderful textures all over them, scribbles and scrabbles and colors. So, with a little inspiration pulled from that book, we are going to be creating some texture monsters. If you guys look closely to my texture monster, you will see I use crayons or colored pencils over various textures. So I went around the room. You can go outside. You can look at shoes. Look at the bottom of this shoe. It has a great texture that I used on my monster. I found old cardboard that you guys can use. You guys can also find things like weird textures like this. You guys can use different kinds of shoes like I mentioned before. Find yourselves some textures that feel like real textures that you can rub a crayon over and create this really interesting look all over your monster. Let me show you how to do this. First things first, we have to draw a monster. All right, easy enough, but let me show you guys how to do it. And I'm also going to post a picture of just a whole bunch of different kind of monsters. You guys can pick and choose all the details yourself and create your own. Let's keep it simple, though, because we want our monsters to be pretty easy to color. Let me turn my camera around. And I'm going to draw in Sharpie. But if you guys want to draw in pencil first, that is totally fine with me. In fact, I would encourage that. I'm also going to give myself a frame. This is going to make things way easier to draw your whole monster within this frame. So to start, I think I'm going to make sure my monster fills up a lot of the space. I think that would be really funny to have him be like, hello, popping out of the corner. And I'm going to give my monster one big eyeball. It kind of looks like Mike Wazowski from Monsters, Inc. And you guys can change it. So again, look at the pictures that I put on Seesaw. If you guys can't think of what to draw or how to draw your monster, you do whatever makes you happy. I'm going to have mine look like he's yelling. And, of course, his monster needs some teeth. But let's assume he's missing a few, too. And, I don't know. I'm going to give him a big bushy eyebrow. Because that's hilarious. And a monster wouldn't be a monster without horns or something. Puff of hair, big ears. It's totally up to you. I think I'm going to give this guy some little horns. They don't have to match, but, you know, it's up to you guys. You make your monster look any way you want. This one's pretty cute, I have to say. All right, good start. Now, if it's in a sketchbook, it's going to be a little hard to get our textures. So, I'm going to take this out of my sketchbook, and I'm going to find a texture that I like. I like this shoe texture. And if you're having a hard time finding other things like cardboard and whatever, why don't you just find a couple different kinds of shoes? You might notice each different kind of shoe tends to have a cool texture underneath it. So, let's figure out what color I want to make my monster. I think I'm going to make this monster blue. So I'm hoping I can capture this as best I can for you guys on a camera here. But I'm going to put this area of my monster over the shoe. And I want to push down relatively hard enough to get my texture to show up. You guys, hopefully you see. And it matches that of the shoe. So, you guys and gals can change the color. You can change the texture. And if you're like, oh, okay, well that's great, but I'm going to add this over here. And maybe I'm going to have them blend into like a green or something else. You guys be as creative as you would like to be, please. So cool. So if you guys want, I would love it if you guys could apply different textures on your monster, maybe even in your background. I want my background to have this like kind of linear zigzaggedy look here. I'm going to try adding it to the background of my drawing here. So let's see, if I want my monster to stick out a little bit, I think I'm going to make my background dark. And again, I'm using crayons, but I do know if you guys want to, colored pencils would work as well. So if this is going up and down, I want to go against the grain a little bit. Okay, so cool. So see if you guys can get different textures to show up in various parts of your monster. Here's mine when it's all done. You don't have to use texture everywhere. So if you guys see, I didn't add texture in my teeth or in my eyes. So if you guys want some parts to be smooth, that is totally fine. This is your work. Make it look the way you want it to look.